Support.
Okay, that brings us to public comment. All in favor of the approval of agenda?
Aye.
Aye. That brings us to public comment. You have 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity. You may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer your questions at this time. Do we have any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move to the committee items. Item 4A, the minutes. I'm seeking approval for the minutes.
Move to adopt the minutes from July 14th.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item, any opposed? Okay, let's move to item 4B, Chamber of Commerce Semi-Annual Report. Yes.
Sorry, staff made it run a few minutes long. You're up. I'm up? Yep. Just called you. Appreciate you, thank you.
Apologize for my tardiness. So just a little bit about the chamber. Do I have a clicker? We got it?
Say click or
Okay.
something.
So we are two organizations, which I think all of you know, but both mission-focused, community-driven, with some shared goals to improve Jackson for business, residents, and visitors. Some of the things we've been working on are in the areas of talent attraction, retention, or as we call it in the destination marketing organization world, destination development. Working together to strengthen and improve Jackson for business and the perception of our community in workforce development, quality of life, and long-term countywide planning. Next slide. So part of our community impact, as a community advocate, we've been able to secure $4.5 million for the city of Jackson for the Hayes Hotel redevelopment. We're currently working on another appropriation for the mountain bike trails, which there are 11 miles of at Ella Sharp Park. I actually testified a couple weeks ago in the State House on that appropriations request. We have paid for the trail assessment there from a professional trail builder. Downtown Jackson, if anyone was paying attention to the parking meter issue a couple of months ago, we've actually put together about a 30-page parking report that we've been working with the city on to neither have parking meters nor to triple the assessments on our downtown businesses. And then also, I know that the county, Kyle had testified as well the same week as me on the Cascade project. So we've been supportive of that and been working with Representative Schmaltz on that. And we collaborate and convene partners around various initiatives. One of the big ones coming up is workforce development. Next slide. So we are in process of putting together a workforce development collaborative. What we've recognized is there's no actual 2030 educational attainment goal in Jackson County. And there's a lack of alignment around what goals are. You look at Oakland County, Oakland 80 is something where they want 80% of their residents to have either a degree or a credential by 2030. Here in Jackson County, we're at about 33% for bachelor's degrees and associate's degrees. So some of the partners in that you see there, Accelerate Jackson County, JAMA, Michigan Works, and others. Next slide. So we are working on aligning, we thought there were about 14 or 15 workforce development organizations in the community. As we started to go through this process for a grant, we realized that there were more like 25 or 26. And so we're working to align a lot of those efforts to make sure that what we're doing in our community is actually moving the needle, giving our businesses the workforce that they need in the future. Putting together a decision-making body made up of executive leaders in workforce development from government, business, nonprofits, and others. and then some community outreach and marketing as well. And so all of this is grant funded by the state of Michigan in conjunction with Jackson College, Southeast Michigan Works, and the College and Career Access Network. Next slide. Next, Drive Jackson, which I think we're going to hear a little bit more about later. So you see some of our partners here, the city, the county, Village of Brooklyn, Accelerate Jackson County, the Irish Hills Regional Chamber of Commerce, and the Community Foundation. I think by now we all know what this is. Funders, you have a wide swath of funders, both public and private, from around the community. Next slide. And what we've done now is with Planning Next, our consultant, we've nearly completed the first round of engagement. You can see there on the chart sort of what that has looked like through July. Well, this one's a little bit old. We've actually reached over 1,000 now in community engagement. So the next step in the process during the month of August, Planning Next will be analyzing those results from the community. Hopefully many of you have taken the survey. If you have not, you can take that still at drivejacksoncounty.com. We'll come back in September and October for a second round of engagement. So, you know, we've asked people what they love about Jackson County. We've asked people what they'd like to see here, what are their big ideas. But the next round is going to be, you know, seeing what bubbles to the top and then saying, what's still missing? You know, we know that people want to fill potholes. We know that people want good roads. But as we think about some of these big issues, whether it's in the K-12 education system or some of the other items, what's still missing out of that now that we've ticked off those top couple of things that people want? And then by the beginning of 2026, we'll have a completed Drive Jackson vision plan for our community. Next slide. Outdoor recreation. So this has primarily been Experience Jackson. October 17th and 18th this year, we'll be hosting a race in the Irish Hills called Irish Hills Gravel. It's a metric century, so 100 kilometers. We'll also have a 50-kilometer race. Currently working with a nationally recognized race director with a goal of 500 plus participants. We're actually in process of meeting with law enforcement officials to make sure that safety is a priority with this, and we have you know, law enforcement set up as they cross US 12 or any of the other major thoroughfares as they go through. I think the most recent iteration of the race actually has it at about 82% gravel roads. So 82 kilometers of that would be gravel roads. So they'll be staying off of the paved roads where it's a little bit more dangerous. And gravel cycling is actually the fastest growing segment of cycling right now in the country. So that's one of the pieces we're working on. Next slide. And then the other one with this gravel cycling is actually mapping out our gravel roads. So we're not advocating for more gravel roads. We're taking those roads that already exist that people want to go and cycle on. And instead of having them go out and maybe try and figure out, where do I cross US 12? Where do we get to some gravel roads that give us a scenic tour? We've been out mapping those out and have created MichiganR3.com. We've actually found out a couple of weeks ago that Traverse City would like to add some trails to this. And so, you know, this is something that's starting here in Jackson County, but, you know, the goal is to have this be something that's statewide, that we can continue to promote what we have here in our community. We've developed our first hub in Brooklyn at Swain Park. And so, you know, from there you see the map of some of those routes. You have a 25-mile route that's kind of highlighted there. And working with Grass Lake and Concord as well for additional hubs where we can start to map out those other gravel roads. Next slide. And then I think lastly, we have our upcoming AI event called AIQ on September 18th. So this is a full-day hands-on learning experience. It's open not just to chamber members, but also to the public on AI literacy, prompt engineering, teaching people really how to use AI to be more effective with those practical applications. We're actually flying someone in from Microsoft in Seattle. We'll have somebody here from Google in process of securing the lieutenant governor as a closing speaker. For those that don't know, he actually left Microsoft, but I found out a couple of weeks ago he was one of the programmers who worked on SharePoint, if any of you have ever used that. So, and then you see the two names of our folks from both Google and Microsoft, Amy Hinchy and Aiden Sova. So both of them are Jackson County natives, which is kind of why this is coming here to Jackson. So hopefully we'll see many of you there. I think that's it. Is that my last one? All right. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks, Ryan, for the presentation. And the chamber was very supportive of the jails initiative earlier on. Does that kind of remain on your horizon at some point?
Yeah, one of the things as the chamber we've tried to do over the last several years is really become an advocate for the community, whether that's city, county, townships. And so this year we submitted, I think the final tally was something like $80 million in appropriations requests to the state, knowing full well that those are not all going to be funded. The top item on that list was the $50+ million jail request. And so, yes, we continue to have those conversations in Lansing and around the community. It remains one of the top priorities, not just for the chamber, but for the board of directors as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions?
Move to receive the report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Report received. Thank you.
If I may, I was thinking Planning Next was going to speak with you, follow you up. Is that right?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great, I'll just take a few minutes here, appreciate that. My name is Sarah Bongiorno, I'm a director with Planning Next. As Ryan mentioned, we're helping with the larger Drive Jackson initiative, a 20-year vision strategic plan for the county, but we're also on a parallel path helping the county as a organization, local form of government, to update your strategic plan. So I wanted to just chat a little bit about where we were with that process. And for those of you in the room or maybe weren't around the last time a strategic plan was done, it is really like a 10-year blueprint for the future of a community. It serves as a guide for decision makers. It's based on input from folks who live in the county, work, play in the county, as well as folks who work for the county as an organization, and really just trying to think about this moment in time and what the county wants to achieve in the next 10 years. So the last county strategic plan was adopted in 2013, and it was for the planning horizon of 2020, which a lot's changed in our world since 2020. So now's a great time to revisit and really look at where the county wants to go for the next 10 years. And I work across the country helping communities do strategic planning, and I really commend the county for being proactive and really thinking and planning ahead for the future. It's good stewardship of your land, of your resources, of your tax money to plan. And aligning the community so that everyone's pulling in the same direction is really important too. It's really essential for long-term fiscal health and quality of life. And so we like to quote, even if you're on the right track, you can get run over if you don't keep moving, the Will Rogers quote. So even though there's a lot of good things happening here in Jackson County, we want to continue that prosperity through planning. The process to update the county strategic plan has two critical inputs. It has that public input from folks out, again, living, working, playing in the county, and it has technical data. We're looking at the existing conditions and trends right now of the county, what's happening to your population and your diversity and your household income and median household house value, renters versus ownership, all those things that are kind of dynamics playing in the county. And so we're looking at that kind of technical data as well. So we've officially kicked off this process with a series of engagement activities, which Ryan kind of hit on in concert with the Drive Jackson initiative. So for the county strategic plan, though, we've been doing one-on-one interviews with you all, with the county commissioners, and I want to thank you all who've had time to take time to talk with us so far. If we haven't had a chance to talk with you, please work through Mike to help set up a time. We'd love to chat with everybody. We've also talked to our elected officials. We're working through interviews with those as well. We have a county-wide staff survey that's open. We've heard from over 100 staff. So we're really just pulling in a lot of different data points right now for the county. And then in concert with that larger Drive Jackson initiative, we're reaching out into the public. And as Ryan mentioned, we've reached over 1,000 folks from all different parts of the county, different age cohorts. So we feel really good about that input. And I think, you know, there's a lot of savings, money savings to the county by kind of combining, because now we're using one public engagement process to kind of feed both plans. So that's really efficient. So we are going to be, there's a few more activities happening this week. There's some small group meetings. The surveys are still open. Besides just a more wide, broad survey to the general public about what people love about Jackson, what their vision is for the future, we have been doing some other surveys as well. We've reached out to folks who have left the county and kind of hearing from them, like why they left and if there's anything, what they would like to see if they were to come back. We've also have a commuter survey of folks who maybe work in the county but don't live in the county. So what can we learn from folks who maybe live on the borders? What would make them kind of want to move into the county? So we're getting some different perspectives, and that's all still open. And so we haven't started processing it yet, but we'll be sharing back what we're hearing from folks here soon. We'll start processing that next week. So if you've got folks out in your area of the county who haven't participated, please encourage them to get on the website, drivejackson.com, to take the survey. We'll have it open through end of the week. Let me see if I hit all my points here. Oh, and then we are planning a second round of engagement. I think Ryan mentioned this in late October. We'll be coming back up for a series of probably smaller workshops out in the different townships, trying to make it easy for people to participate. And at that point, we'll have processed what we're hearing from this first round. We'll probably have some things to test, say, hey, is this on the right track? Does this sound good? Is this reflecting what you want to see? And then what else? What else is missing at that point? So any questions I can answer for you?
Any questions, board? Commissioner?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to drivejackson.com because I've got township meetings tonight, and I'll let them know that that's,
Great.
whoops, it says there's a typo in drivegroup.com. Hang on, I'm just trying to make sure I actually can get there. drivejackson.com.
Sorry, drivejacksoncounty.com.
Drive Jackson
we
County.
put the county
That's
in there
why
to
we
be
do these
specific, yeah.
things. Okay. .com.
Drive Jackson Initiative, drivejacksoncounty.com.
Drive Jackson County. There it is. Okay, so join the chamber. Take the survey.
we
Okay, I
go.
see it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to encourage my township
Thank you.
officials
Yep, perfect.
to
That's
do that if
great.
they haven't.
Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you for tolerating my question. Otherwise, I would have goofed it up, I'm sure. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Next up is finance. I see Cecilia's here.
Good morning. So I am here to go over the financial report as of June 2025. As you can see, our benchmark is 6/12, and it's 50%. And this just made me very happy. Year to date is at 50%. So it was like perfect. Just made me so happy. And then it's the nerd part of me, I get it, but it just made me happy. And then our year-to-date revenue percent totals at 26.8%, which is above actually our 3-year revenue average. So I have good news to report as of June 2025. I do have some notes in the expenditure section as if it is above 50% as to why, but there isn't any concerns. It will catch itself up by the end of the year. Are there any questions?
Commissioner Plesky?
Thank you, Madam Chair. When I looked at revenues, I too was, in a nerdly way, pleased to see that both circuit court and district court are above 50%. They've kind of been a problem in the past, I think, not achieving their budget numbers. So is it, 12th District Court is at 54.7%. and circuit courts at 64.7%. Is that cause for optimism that they are above 50%, or do they normally collect revenues more rapidly than usual?
With circuit court, they receive grants, so they can, that's probably, which will probably work itself to right on budget by the end of the year. Our district court, we're really at a good budget numbers for them. Are
Good.
really realistic, so.
That's all I had, Madam Chair. I would move receipt of the report.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. That moves us to 4D, request for a position reinstatement. Michael?
Good morning, Board. This is a request for an executive assistant reinstatement. We had this position that was approved by the board from 2016 through 2024. Through the budget process, the position was unfilled at the time. The individual in the position had resigned. We made the determination with the budget at the current state to put that on hold or to have that go away. With what's happened is over the last 2 weeks, I've done an evaluation of the position and the needs in the county administrator's office. There's significant need. I did an in-depth time study. It shows a 2.12 FTE for the executive assistant positions. That's unrelated to the assistant or the county administrator. So there is a high level of need in that office. But I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. You see, with fewer committee members, I get to hear my own self speak more often than usual. With respect to budgets, and perhaps this is for you, Michael, or perhaps for our administrator, but how do we go about paying for this? Is it budgeted, or what's the plan for paying for this?
I see a colleague coming back up.
So the ask is an immediate need. So we do have some budget dollars available in a department where they've had turnover pretty much all year long. So we could do a budget amendment, moving monies from that department to the administrator controller's budget to balance 25 with no problem. For 2026, one thing that I did not increase in 2026, because I just don't know, but is the marijuana revenue that we do receive from the state. But for the past 3 years, though, there's always been an increase. So that would be the line item that I would increase in order to balance our 26 budget. Because it's not unrealistic that there isn't going to be an increase. I just don't know what the increase is. But for the dollar amounts needed for this position, it's realistic that we would at least receive that increase.
So to summarize, for 2025, we believe we can reallocate from some other budget line to fund this.
Correct.
And in 2026, we believe there will be some other revenue or some way to balance it once we get budgets done for 2026.
Exactly, correct.
So, Madam Chair, I'll move adoption of the staff recommendation if I can get support.
I'll support that.
Okay, so it's on the floor.
Any discussion?
Discussion?
So I have some questions. If my memory serves me right, I believe this position was not filled at the time because we were concerned about the sheriff's budget. So I understand right now that we have an adequate surplus, that nothing would be taken from the sheriff. We're being a little bit speculative about the marijuana funds. I know they have gone up every year. But if they don't, I'd need a guarantee that none of this would come from the sheriff's line budget to keep this position in 26. If your marijuana revenue didn't go up, where would you find the funds to facilitate this position?
What I would do is just wait until the end of the year and just see what other department had some turnover. We would just move it from other departments. But to be clear, the department that I would be moving from 2025 has nothing to do with the sheriff's office.
I understand that.
Okay,
We got
I
the
just want to make
surplus
sure
right
that
now,
is
yep.
clear.
I'm
There's
talking about next
another
year.
department in the general fund who struggled this year with turnover.
Okay,
And that would be the department that I would move it from. But it is not, has anything to do with the sheriff.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion?
If the revenues for this year to pay for this, you say you think you're going to be able to move some monies around, and the funding to fund this next year's budget, you're hoping certain budgets, certain revenues will increase. seems to me we'd be better off making a decision on this once the budget is passed and we know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, so for 2025, I know for sure I can move monies around, that's not a problem. For 2026, I will not know certainly until March of 2026 how much the revenue funds will be, the marijuana funds will come in at. But based on history, the 3-year history, we've had it increase every single year. So that is what I am counting on or expecting.
And additionally, Tony, sorry, want to be able to hear. Additionally, Tony, the difficulty is we have the money within 2025 that we can account for, and there is an essential need in the office in 2025. If we hold off until 2026, we could get to critical mass with the work in the production within the county administrator's office. There's a lot of work that has to be done, a lot of grants, especially the fact of the insurance, the liability insurance, and submitting of all those claims. That's something we can't afford to fall behind on. Those are things that legal counsel gets involved with. So that's an essential function that we want to make sure that we're doing correctly.
Okay, I wasn't suggesting that we wait till 2026.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. I thought that's what you were
That we at
referring
least
to.
wait till September
Gotcha.
25 and we know what the budget is. Thank you.
Okay, I'd just like to ask and make it clear in my mind. We currently have one person doing the job of what requires 2.1 persons.
That is correct.
So if we look at that long term, if that person gets burnt out and chooses to leave the position because they're burned out, because we have no, then we're going to be starting from scratch and losing all of that experience in addition to now we have 2 in the administrator's controller's office is that far behind. So instead of
I
having.
apologize. I lost that.
Yep, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Instead of having, let's say the person who's there, our one FTE who's currently there,
Correct.
it becomes burned out and can no longer fulfill the job requirements.
correct.
Then we're in a pickle.
That is a very significant concern. When you have a office of support staff of 1, that individual for any reason, whether it's retirement or whether it's they get burned out, especially with how much work, once I dove into the amount of work that was being produced, I had meetings with about 4 to 5 different personnel within the office and that had support workings with the office. It's not sustainable, to answer your question. And that's with why I'm coming forward and saying this is something if we don't address, the likelihood of burnout is significant. At any time, we've had about a half year with where a position, even before this was given up from the budget, we've had about a half year of trying to replace the position. It's not an easy position to fill. It's high skill level in high demand, so it's not the easiest job to fill. But during those periods, it gets to a point with where you can tell that the stress is on the office, the overtime, other things that are happening, that I would be concerned if it pushed any more than a year out. This is something that really does need to be fulfilled, and we're getting to that point right now. We've been about a half year without this position. Now it's coming to with where, if we don't address this issue, I think we're not going to be in a very good stead as a county.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Everything they've said is correct. I actually took a step back and said, Michael, do an analysis, meet with Delane and Deborah, discuss, what the needs are, what you believe, just like you would any other department, time, hour analysis, things like that, and job responsibilities and duties and workloads. And so it's not been taken lightly. We even looked at potentially, can I remove some responsibilities from the office, put them in another department? It wasn't that many years ago before what was it, 2016?
2016.
Prior to that, we didn't do insurance and FOIA in the office. We had it in HR. But their employee had retired and there was nobody else to do it, so we brought it on to our department, which is appropriate. I have to, approve or deny FOIAs. I approve and deny all insurance claims and things like that. So it's better to have that relationship there. I know our existing employee has been here, I think, 17 years, roughly. And does a great job, but at the same time, and she's been doing some overtime too to try to keep up. But there is definite impacts. I know we've struggled with some insurance claims to the extent that there is some concern that one of our plow trucks may not be ready because of a claim being slow to get processed, and therefore the work was slow to get done, that kind of thing. So there is definitely impacts to having things like that. And an employee can only work so much overtime. They have their own lives and children and everything else to attend to. But it's, from my perspective, whether it's general fund dollars, it will come from somewhere in a general fund. Whether there's more revenue or not, it doesn't really, in my mind, change anything. Even if, quote unquote, marijuana money were not to come through, this position needs to be filled because we need the work to be done. It's critical kind of work. So we would have to look elsewhere for other ways of reducing costs elsewhere to pay for this. It's that kind of position. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Thank you. Okay, motion passes. We'll move that to the full board. Item number 4E, Parks, Kyle?
Good morning. I've got 3 items in a row here. The first one is Grass Lake Tennis Court renovation. So this is actually a project that we've got planned for our 2025 as part of our 5-year recreation plan. It's also a carryover from our previous recreation plan. I would say it's probably the lone project that we didn't get done. We tried to apply for a grant to help supplement this, but the application was unsuccessful. So we're proposing for millage money to cover the entire thing this time around. But we did bid this out with CoPro's help. We've got 3 bids here to choose from. The low bid is what we're recommending. It is a concrete court surface, which is different than our courts at Cascades Park. I think will be long-term. I think it's a really good fit there. But we are recommending the low bid. This is something that the park board approved last week.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to forward it to the full board with recommendation of approval.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4F, Kyle?
Okay, the second item is something else that we worked on with CoPro. We advertised for a golf cart lease for 75 golf carts for the next 5 years for Cascades Golf Course. Our revenue in 2020 at Cascades Golf Course was $737,000. This past year was $937,000. So we continue to grow. The golf course is booming, I guess is what I'm trying to get across. Through the end of this July, we're 30,000 ahead of where we were last July. So we got 2 bids. We could have only gotten 3. There's only 3 possible companies that could bid on this. But we are recommending the low bid out of the 2, and it's a company that we currently use, EasyGo. So these units do include a GPS unit on them, so there's kind of benefits for the golfers and benefits for the operations. We talked this through at length a couple of different times at the park board level the last 2 months, and the park board was in agreement of adding that for these future carts, but I'm recommending the low bid here once again.
I'll move that to full board.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4G, Kyle, addition of the FTE.
Yes, so this is the request to add 1 full-time position to our department. We do currently staff the Parks Department with a mixture of full-time employees as well as seasonal and casual employees. This position would mainly assist with the American One Event Center, but it kind of fills two needs for us. I see this as 6 to 7 months at the American One Event Center, and then the warmer months and the summer months, they transition to our park maintenance team. So with the American One Event Center side, we've got 2 of this current position that we're requesting to add, and then we've supplemented that with seasonal and casuals. So that is it's not worked the best, I guess is the best way to put it. The casuals, we're kind of limited on, they can work 20 hours a week. So we usually find people that they say they're okay with that, and then a month or 2 into it, they want more hours, or they find the job with more than 20 hours. But and then seasonal employees, we're limited for how many months they can work. So we're constantly turning over these positions that we've been trying to supplement the full-time staff with. So this is that would help with American One Event Center as well as the County Tower Ballroom. We do have increased events for next year, so there is some revenue to back this a little bit, is cover a little bit of the increase. And then on the park maintenance side, as we grow and we've added new playgrounds and new projects, we want to make sure that we're maintaining that stuff the best that we can for years to come. So, like I said, it fills 2 needs, but the main need is at the American One Event Center. But happy to answer any questions about that.
Corey?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I see that you've got it structured with savings and revenue increases to fund it, kind of restructuring things. My question is, I'm assuming this is all paid through the Parks millage.
Exactly.
If the Parks millage wasn't renewed and you created a new union position, which this would be, and the casual and seasonal are not contracted, correct? My concern is some contracts say you have to, once you create a position, you have to maintain it. If you were to lose the revenue, say the community didn't renew the Parks millage, would you be able to eliminate the position, or would the contract bind us to keeping that position?
I don't think that I'll let Michael answer it, but.
No, the union contract for AFSCME does not have that, so if a grant does go away, we're able to eliminate the position at that time.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm looking for a motion to approve to move to the full board.
Move to adopt the staff recommendation.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Great, thank you.
That moves us to other business. I'm looking for a motion to pay the claims.
Move to pay the claims.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Five B, other minutes. I see no other minutes.
5C.
Looking at the reporting schedule for September, we'll have the treasurer's report and the conservation district report.
That moves us to the second opportunity for public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing none,
Looking for committee member comments.
Thank you. We've got some personnel things we're having to act on today. And when things come forward from leadership with a recommendation to put it on the agenda, I think leadership should be supportive of the things that are put on the agenda, not just put it on there and have everybody else carry the water. And so I would ask that leadership consider carefully putting things on agendas for which they're going to vote no. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I would respond.
Corey?
Only one member of the leadership team puts things on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Pulaski.
Thank you. Any other comment? Seeing no other comment, the meeting is adjourned.